Hey everyone, and welcome to Boom Children's Ministries. I'm going to adjust this because my head is in the wrong place right there. And today we are going to talk about using volume to control your room. But first, our intro.
Hooray!
All right, as I said, today we're going to talk about using volume to control your room. Now, if you have listened to many of my lessons already, you know how I feel about volume. You know, or at least you should know by now, that having the kids completely silent throughout your entire program is probably not a good thing, and it probably doesn't help you with your program overall. Something I was really just thinking about as I was setting up to get ready for this video is that when you see children willingly sitting down, quietly listening to a lesson, that is not because they were forced to do so. Ultimately, it's because you, as the teacher, earned it, right? And you earned it by your song service. You earned it by how you acted with the memory verse time. You earned it by how you behaved with your puppet skit. You earn their silence during the lesson time by what you do before. So that means this. During the song time, control of the room does not mean that you can hear a pin drop at any given moment. That's not what it means. And for you and your workers to go berating children, and I've seen this all the time, sit down and be quiet. Sit down and be quiet. Sit down and be quiet, you know. For you to berate kids over and over and over again about sitting down and being quiet, that means that the kid has control of the room and you do not. So how do I use volume to my advantage? Because the honest truth is that kids want to be loud, right? So how do I channel that loudness and even that silence for my advantage? Here's a few ways. Instead of expecting kids to be just completely quiet all the time, you control how loud or how quiet they're going to be. Now, this is a very simple video, and it's not going to be as long as my others. I know I always say that. But here's a few examples of this concept. I sing a song a lot of weeks called Stand Up and Shout It If You Love My Jesus. And it's very simple. Basically, the kids stand up and we sing, stand up and shout it if you love my Jesus. Stand up and shout it if you love my Lord. I want to know, do you love my Lord? Right? Very simple song. But then I turn it around in the second verse, they all sit down and we sit down and whisper if you love my Jesus. Sit down and whisper if you love my Lord. I want to know, do you love my Lord? Right? So first you've gotten them to sing loudly, and now you're getting them to be quiet. You're controlling their actions. They're having fun. They don't even know it. All right. But then the third verse, you say, now you got to watch me for this one. Okay. So stand up and shout it if you love my Jesus. Sit down and whisper if you love my Lord. I want to know, do you love my Lord? And then I always, for the last verse, I always just go, all right, here's my favorite verse. Are you ready for the final verse? Let's do it. Ready? Your volume is working. I'm just not actually singing words. Right? And I'll tell you something. When you do that final verse, that is the quietest your room is going to be all day. because they are following your lead. And in essence, you're controlling the room. It's very simple, very simple. Now, one of the other things I do is something I actually learned when I was traveling with a group called Neighborhood Bible Time when I was in my college years, and that's something called the cheer cup, or I have something called the cheer bottle, right? So I'll take my my cup or my bottle, and I'll give this little speech, and I only had to do this the first or second time. I say something to the effect of, now, this is something called the cheer bottle. It's the strangest thing in the world. You see, when I have this cheer bottle, whenever I take a drink from the cheer bottle, the weirdest thing happens. Everyone starts cheering. And then when I stop drinking, everyone just gets completely silent. It's the weirdest thing. Do you want to see how it works? And all the kids are like, yeah. So then I'll open up my bottle and I'll say, now, just so you know, just to tell you again, explain again. So whenever I take a drink from this bottle, everyone starts cheering. And then as soon as my lips aren't touching the bottle anymore, everyone gets completely silent. It's the weirdest thing. Here, I don't even know how to explain it. Let me show you. And then I, of course, everyone starts cheering. And then when I take my mouth off, everyone stops. And you might think that's silly, and it is silly. But it does two things. One, it gives you a chance to get a drink of water. Which, if you're being high energy, which really, I don't know if we've done a video about that yet or not, but you need to be. Being high energy is it's an important thing. Your energy needs to match the energy of the children, or it needs to be higher than the energy of the children. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. If you're being high energy, you're going to need a drink of water every once in a while. So this gives you a chance to get a drink of water. So that's a practical thing, but also on top of that, that also lends itself to you controlling the room. Again, that's something that if you've watched me for very long, you know that's something I'm very big on, is controlling the room. So those are two ways in which I use volume to control the room that I'm in. And again, you can do that through songs. You can do that through memory verse. You can say, all right, this time we're going to whisper the memory verse. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, right? This time we're going to yell the memory verse. John 3:16, for God so loved the world, right? So there are many creative ways in which you can use volume to your advantage. Remember, controlling the room with volume is not a simple matter of the kids are completely silent all the time. Control of the room when it comes to volume is you determine what their volume is going to be. Does that mean sometimes they're yelling? Yes. Sometimes they're whispering? Yes. Sometimes they're not talking at all? Yes. But no matter what all those things, no matter with all of them, yelling, screaming, whispering, completely quiet, you are the one that determines what those all are. So use volume to your advantage. The more you use volume to your advantage during the opening service, the song service, the memory verse, all that, the more you use volume to your advantage during those parts of the service, the more you yield and reward during the lesson time. And that is the entire point. The entire point is getting your kids to a point where at lesson time, they're sitting, they're listening, and they're quiet willingly because you have earned it from them, because you let them yell earlier and you let them have fun with whispering and yelling and pantomiming and all of that stuff before. So use volume to your advantage. And that is today's lesson. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all of those great things. Share on Facebook. I like for people to see this stuff, and I want to help people. I want to help you, and I want to help as many people as possible with this area of children's ministry. Children's ministry is one of, if not the most important ministry in our local churches, and we gotta sharpen up, don't we? We need to sharpen up, and that's why I'm doing these videos, so that you can have a more effective children's ministry. So, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.